Good morning. Well, it's afternoon for me, and happy Monday. Though it's not Monday for me, it is Sunday for me. This is Enoch, and you're watching Enoch Does Minecraft. So, a lot to talk about today, including my marvelous hat. So, normally I record these on Saturday, and I did record this on Saturday. I recorded an absolutely amazing episode that I thought was fantastic. Ran a little long, went about 47 minutes altogether, and I was very happy. We did a bunch of things. We started our garden. We started, we got the cows ready to go, and everything, like absolutely set up. I showed off the new house. Yeah, had a lot of fun. And then I discovered that the video file that I made was corrupt. And I couldn't use the footage at all. And not only that, I had neglected to make a copy of my world, which means that I had gone like an hour worth, if you include the stuff I did between episodes, that you didn't see, and I couldn't explain to you. I could not show it to you, and I could not redo it. So that means the only way to rectify this was one of two things. Either one, make a complete restart of the world and do it as like a live stream and let you guys watch and record it and then post it up afterward. Which would have been fine, though a lot of work. And I've never done a live stream, so it'd be a lot of fun there. The other option would be to restart, get up to the point we were at, and then go from there. That is the option I decided upon. So this is the same world, but a little different. A little different. I never went into the chasm, the crevasse that is over there, the giant crack in the earth full of stuff and things. I did not go down there. I went straight down and built a house. Then I started my little cow ranch over here, which we'd already done, but this is a lot cooler. I think looks a lot better. I think I might bring it in just a touch, like to there, one block in, but we'll see. Right now, it looks pretty good. I like it. We got an abundance of cow, more cows than I actually even need. So we'll deal with that. Also, these guys are stuck in this corral. I don't know how they got in there, but they're living with the pigs and a horse. I think there's a cat. Yeah, there's a cat. So there's pigs, horse, cat, people, all living together in a corral. So you guys have fun with that. But the story doesn't end there. And I'm going to show you the house that I made as I'm telling you about this. This is our new entrance area, which I really like. I think it's really cool. So then, this morning, I decided, okay, I'm going to have to re-record this again and again and again because it kept messing up the video. The first time it only recorded 15 minutes of a 30-minute playthrough. And then this last time it only recorded a minute of it. Though it didn't tell me that it had stopped recording, it said that it was still recording. So I only had a minute of footage. This is a new place, by the way. As you can see, the other side is also going to have 3 barrels on the top, 3 furnaces beneath it, and then it'll have 3 additional construction things, like the workstation. They're going to have those there as well. You're going to hear occasionally a jingling or the mewing, and that's because both girls are sitting with me while I'm doing this Let's Play. Zoe and Riley, my 2 kittens, for those of you who don't know. I'm going to move this bed over 1. This is what sucks about having to redo these. I had all these wonderful jokes that I said, and they were spontaneous, and now I feel like if I say them again, it's scripted and less real. I had this bed here, and I was talking about how wonderful the bed is and how the lava keeps me warm, but then I thought, well, what if I wake up in the middle of the night and go to use the bathroom, I get out of the wrong side of the bed? You really get out of the wrong side of the bed. I mean, that's a long, very hot wake up in the morning. So I moved it over 1. But what we're going to do, I have explored a lot, essentially 3 episodes worth, by accident. So I'm not going to, oh wow, this is the first time I have seen this before. No, I'm going to be honest with you. This is where I'm going. This is what I've seen. This is awesome. You're going to like this. You're not going to like that. These are little hatches. These are where my mines are going to be. I'm going to have a mine go that way, a mine go probably that way, and then here I'm probably going to have like eventually a bedroom and storage room and other stuff. This room is where the eventual enchanting room is going to be. This is the exact dimensions I wanted it. So I'll be putting some stuff in here around, and the enchanting table will go in the center, and then those will be 3x3 bookshelves on each side. I know it's more than you can actually use. I think it's 12 or 15 that you need as the cap to get you to 30, which is the highest enchanting level you can get. But I like 3x3. It's 18. It's a little bit more, but it's going to look really cool because you're not going to see any of this stone once this is all done. Okay? Okay, moving on. So that I've got these little gates here because I don't want anything spawning in there and then wandering in here. That'll just be a pain in the butt. So what am I going to do today? What am I going to do now? Now that I have had these marvelous misadventures? Well, to be honest, what I'm going to do is basically, for me, the exact same thing I have done 3 or 4 times already. I'm going to go exploring. I'm going to go exploring because I want to get my garden set up again. I want to get, I want to get everything ready to go. One thing I noticed last time is that my pick broke on me last time while I was out running around. And then, so now I'm going to actually make myself an extra pick. I'm going to make myself a hoe because I'm going to need one of those. I'm going to make myself an extra shovel. And I'm going to make myself an axe. There. Now I've got, one thing I wanted to was a sword. But now I don't have the iron for it. Oh wait, do I? Do I have any iron in here? No, I don't. That's right. I had an iron in there in a different playthrough. Anyway. C'est la vie. What you gonna do? So here we go. Off yet again for the first time. So some of the things, something really cool is going on right now. My wife, Connie, who I've talked about pretty much every episode, is doing her own Let's Play. That's right. She is starting her own Let's Play under Ashland's Adventures is what it's called. And it is actually on Connie's Insights, which has its own YouTube channel now. That's CONNIE' space INSIGHT. S? I think it's just T. I don't think it's Connie's Insights. I think it's Connie's Insight. I could be wrong though. Anyway, you want to check that out. She's doing her own Let's Play, starting off on an island in the middle of nowhere. And so it's going to be fun. She's going to have a blast doing it. Hasn't so far because her and I have both been having technical issues this weekend. She had no video, then she had no audio, then she had no audio again. Now she's doing it again. So this was the first place that I discovered something new and interesting. You'll notice there's cobblestone there. And you don't normally find cobblestone out in the wild because it's only from stone. The reason you see cobblestone is because there's a monster generator in there. This is a dungeon that's above ground. You never see above ground dungeons. At least I've never seen one before. This was the very first time I'd ever seen an above ground dungeon. I think it's seriously cool. I'm going to save this. I want this to stay because eventually I'm going to be farming experience points, and this will let me do that because this is like absolutely perfect. I'm going to light the outside so I know exactly where this is. Let's see what's in this chest. I swear this is getting worse every time I get into this place. The first time it was full of bone, and I loved it was full of bone. The second time it had a saddle and one iron horse armor and a CD. This time it's got 2 iron horse armor and no saddle. So it's anyway, and it had like tons of gunpowder last time too, which I could have used. So now I know that there's some coal here and some iron here. I found the coal the first time. I didn't find the iron the first time. Then I found the iron the second time. And now I'm going to find iron the third time. It's almost like I know it's here. Huh? Isn't that strange? It's almost like I knew the iron was there. Anyway, something else you may have noticed this last Friday. Oh, I'm also not going to go down a bunch of caves that I've already been down that I know there's nothing down there. I'm not going to waste my time or yours doing that. So on Friday, last Friday, there was a trailer drop for Living Out Victory Every Day, which is a series that I'm going to be running starting this Friday, is the plan. I've got the first recorded. I'm going to try and actually change the format as we go, so it's not me you're staring at, but there's other ways to do it. You'll see. You'll see. It's going to turn out pretty cool. I think you're going to like it. And seriously, every time I try and do this, I end up in the same thing. I lost track of where I am. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get to learn a lot about ourselves. I've worked on this program for, 5 years, I think it is now. I started it a long time ago, and it's had a very dear place in my heart. And I've always wanted to do something with this program that I wrote, but I kept having a hard time finding venues for it, finding ways to actually use this program, because it's a pretty long program, to be honest with you. It's about 13 weeks long total, and in those 13 weeks there's 7 daily activities and things that we go through in it. So that's a lot of content. That is a heck of a lot of content. And it's the middle of the night. I shouldn't be out here. The last few times I ran back to my home and hid. This time, I'm not going to run and hide. No, I'm going to take care of some stuff. Come on. Here we go. Pop. Yeah, so we're going to have a lot of fun with that, and we're going to see how that goes. By the format that I'm using it in now, it's going to take probably, considering I need a break partway through, it's going to take probably around 2 years to finish it. Oh, I should have thought of that before I charged this guy. Luckily, it's a skeleton. He doesn't fire very fast or do very much damage. He's more annoying than anything else. So I should be able to... Oh, crap. You know what? I say that, and now I'm going to die from it. I need to switch out and actually get a weapon up here. There we go. Axes are a good weapon. Yeah, so it would take about 2 years to do the program if I did it properly. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, like I said, about 5 times now. And yeah, we'll go from there. Also, I want to talk about the real little toaster. I kept calling him my little toaster last week, and just to explain, I am sorry, I did not mean to refer to you as my little toaster. You're the real little toaster, and you are an awesome dude, and you have been so supportive, and thank you. He got back to me saying yes, he is indeed a guy, which I appreciate that he let me know that, because I wanted to use the appropriate pronoun, because he seemed nice, and trying to be respectful and thankful. Yeah, there's that. Oh, just so much that I have to go over again and again. I don't even remember if I've gone over something, and it gets to be a little confusing at times. So what we're doing now is, now I found some more sugar cane over here. So I'm going to try and get as much of this as I can, because the more I have, the less I have to farm it out. and I want to be able to get it set up properly. Something else that's really cool that you're going to notice is I found another village. Yeah. So it turns out my village is not the only village around here. Some people collect different types of food and farm different types of food, by the way. I'm not. I'm going to have two different things farming. And the two different things, one is... what? Ugh. Somebody grab me? Ow. No. But this is just as bad. I'm out of here. Okay. Ugh. So fun. Yeah, there's another village over here. I'm heading straight for this. Heck with this. Peace, dude. I'm out. Yeah, I farm two things. Wheat, which there's tons of in this town, for my bread, and to feed my cows. And the other thing is sugarcane, which I use for paper. So if I get enough paper, then I can create books for enchantment and that stuff. Yeah. That was an Enderman. We're going to pretend we didn't see him. Because if we don't look at him, we'll be okay. Oh, there he is. Yep, not looking at you. Totally not looking at you, dude. If you don't look at the Enderman, they tend to ignore you. Okay, it's always different every time. That's interesting. Well, I'm going to take the carpet. Why? That way I don't have to make the carpet. I can just steal theirs. That works. I do like the fact in a way that the chests are different every time. Did I actually go into this house? I don't think so. Because I would have stole the heck out of that. I'm going to now. These furnaces are awesome. Cannot recommend them enough. So there's that. I'm going to be farming. I'm going to be getting it all set up for that. Some of the other things I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be setting up my mine, because there's some fun stuff with mines that I'm going to be doing, and some things that I discovered that I'm not going to tell you, but I'm going to let you find out when this version of Enoch discovers it. Then I'll let you discover it too, which is going to be fun. Ooh, something that's interesting for Mondays, or this Monday at least. See, I always try and find interesting things that may have happened on this day, blah, 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 when, right? In this case, I'm going to be talking to you about what happened on this day in 1930. 1930, on this date, January 18th, the first time ever that a cow was transported by air. So, I know, totally random, right? It's the very first time that a cow was ever transported by air. I even know the cow's name was Ollie. And Ollie was transported just because they needed to put her in a new farm. She was sold, and so she was transported by air. Yeah, so there's that. And it's absolutely... Ooh, look at the wheat. Look at all that wheat. That's wheaterful. I regret that joke. Anyway, so Ollie was transported by air on this day. I'm gonna steal one. I'm gonna steal two of these. I want two of those because those things are actually pretty awesome. It's a furnace. I'm also gonna steal all this wheat. There we go, and all the seeds. I'm gonna have so much seed. It's not even funny. I could have so much. I'm also going to steal this too. That is for making bone meal. It's a composter, what it is. And I'm going to steal this carrot too, because I'm going to use it all in the composter. You use carrots, by the way, to attract pigs, and that would be great if I cared about pigs. Oh, my bags must be full. What do I want to get rid of? Spider eye. Don't need a spider eye. Spider eye does whatever a spider eye does. Anyway, so this cow was transported by air. And it got me to think, what would the conversation be like if that cow got back to his original herd? Because if you think about it, cows have a pretty ordinary life. Yes, by the way, that is also not my village. So we've got a village there, which I just finished clearing out. And there is another. Did I get a whole stack of carrots? Wow. You know what? I don't need that armor. So, could you imagine, like, what is a cow's life? A cow's life is get up, get milked. Yeah, hello, here's a cow right here. Hey, Ollie, what's your life like? Well, you get up, you get milked, you go out, you eat grass. If you're lucky, you don't run into me, so you don't get killed. Then you go back to the barn, you go to sleep, do it all over again the next day. So it's wake up, milk, eat, bed, every day. But this cow saw something different, something that changed its world's view. It was no longer, the world was not confined to the milking room, the barn, and the field. It saw the curvature of the earth. It saw airplanes, it saw different houses, it saw all of these different things. So its complete worldview was changed. And so you just got to think, how does that change the cow? Well, obviously, it's a cow. It doesn't have a whole lot going on upstairs. But you can imagine what that does to us. When something happens that monumentally changes our worldview. What happens with us? How do we deal with that? And when I was thinking about this, I was actually starting to think about, like, I've had a few things happen to me in my life that were game changers, that absolutely shifted my worldview. And one of these things, one of the big things that happened that changed my worldview, was when I came to Christ. It was a major thing. I know I talk about God a lot, but you guys are just going to have to deal with that because it's just me, right? It's my channel. It's my video. We're going to talk about what I want to talk about. If you don't like it, well, I'm sorry. Wish you did. But it's the truth. It's my channel. We'll talk about what I want to talk about. In this case, I want to talk about this. So, when I was growing up, this is a really cool house. When I grew up Roman Catholic, lapsed Catholic, actually. And so what that means is that little Christian was only really a Christian on the high holidays. We didn't really go to church except for Christmas and Easter. And most of the time, the Christmas service was a midnight mass where I would be massively embarrassed because they would call up everybody that was born on December 25th. And I was born on December 25th. So I'd get called up and have to stand up there while they bless and pray for me and everything else. And just the way it goes, right? It's interesting, but yeah. But I lost a lot of my my interest in religion. No, I don't need that. I thought I needed that, but I already have some sand. The reason I need sand, by the way, was because if you're going to be growing sugarcane, you want sand. You want it to be growing in sand. It just grows so much faster and better. Is that over there? That would be... I don't actually know. Looks like there's something over there, doesn't it? Let's go poke it with a stick. I've never been in that direction before, so it could be nothing, or it could be something. Looks like there's something over there. We'll see. Anyway, so here I was, basically raised Catholic, but not really having like a deep relationship with God. And then I sort of lost my faith. I lost my faith in the church. And part of it was because of the hypocrisy that I saw, and I didn't know how to rectify it because, well, I was a kid. Holy crow. I did not know that was there. This is cool. So, yeah, I found another village. Except this one is a small desert city. So, in my vicinity, there's 2 towns other than my town, and then a desert city. Wow. That's just awesome. But not only that, that wasn't the only reason that I sort of lost some of my faith. Another reason that I did was because... Oh, cool. Cool little dude. Was because I loved comedy. And I loved comedy, but the comedian that I chose to pretty much latch onto was a comedian named George Carlin. George Carlin, he's hilarious. He's completely inappropriate, uses a lot of swear words. In fact, one of his most famous routines is based on the 7 words you can't say on television, and none of those words am I going to say now, because all of those, well, I want this to be child-friendly. It's not child-friendly when you start swearing. Why is this guy following me around? Is he just shutting doors behind me? Anyway, he had a lot against the church. Yay! Okay, so, lots of books here. And George Carlin had a lot against the church. And rightfully so. I mean, he was hurt. He was hurt a lot by people in the church. And so I understand that he had a lot of issues with people there. And with those people that were so-called Christians. But it influenced me. And helped me to pull away from the church. And as I pulled away from the church, I became agnostic. I mean, I believed there was a higher power. I knew there was a higher power. More books. I just didn't know who that higher power was. And I sure wasn't looking to the church for my answers. Because, again, the hypocrisy and then George Carlin's influence, it just pulled me away. Is that it? Is that the temple? Is that the sunken temple? This is insane. Absolutely insane that I'm finding all this stuff. Again, I was worried that this video was going to be boring because it's like, oh yeah, I've seen this. I know this is here. Ow. But I'm finding all brand new stuff every time. It's crazy. Crazy on toast. I haven't found any chests though. That sucks. I'd love to find a chest. As I say that, another book. More bread. More wheat. So, yeah, I was agnostic for a time. And then after a while, I started to get into paganism. I experimented and I researched different things. Odin, like Norse mythology, Greek, Roman mythology. I looked into Hinduism. I looked into the other Druidic. I looked into Druidic. I looked into the other sort of not quite Christian. Oh, hello. You're on all gold armor with a bow. And all you give me are some arrows. Are you serious? I want those arrows. I'm going to get rid of the yellow carpet. I'm not going to want the yellow carpet anyway. So what I'm doing here is, yeah, there it is. Okay, here's the trick. Okay, you do not want to drop down there under any circumstances. And the reason you don't want to drop down there is because there are pressure plates in the center. And if you hit those pressure plates, this whole thing is going to blow up. And you're going to die. Whereas if you do this, holy crackers at Christmas. Is that? Okay, why isn't this? There we go. Okay, so we got diamond horse armor, gunpowder, I'm going to have to get some stuff. This is all there is to it. Not leaving diamond behind. Not leaving a golden apple behind. That's just amazing. You know what? I don't need more raw beef. Bone is very valuable. What do I leave behind for the bone? You know what? I don't need 24 rotting flesh. Rotting flesh can go. Okay, there we go. So good. I so shocked here. I completely lost track of what I was saying. Oh gosh, now there's... Really? Another golden apple. Feather falling and unbreaking. Holy Dinah, what do I get rid of? I want to make a bow, so I want to keep that string. So I'm going to get rid of the sticks. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of sticks. Oh, strike. Oh yeah, I was looking into paganism. And then I was looking in, holy crackers at Christmas. 26 bone. Diamonds. Shining like diamonds. Or emeralds. Or whatever. I get rid of the music disc. I don't ever make the record player, so this was so worth it. So worth it. And last chest. Sharpness 2. Oh, wow. And more bone. 44 bone. And all the string I could want. Okay, what do I get rid of? I don't need those carrots. Carrots can go. There we go. Yeah, I'm not going to need the carrots because I'm going to have all of the bone marrow or bone stuff from that I could possibly want. Wow. Okay. So this is absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. Complete unexpected bonus here. Finding this place. And now I just got to get up again. So tell me I kept some of that, which I did. Okay, going up. I'd like to keep 10. If I can keep 10 sand, I'll be happy. Okay, 12. That'll do nicely. Yeah, I've got to get home. This is just getting ridiculous. The sheer awesomeness of this area. So where am I now? I am way off course, so I'm going to go straight south. I'm going to go straight that way. Gotcha. So yeah, I was looking into stuff. I ended up becoming Wiccan, of all things. You can imagine that. So I explored Wicca, and so yeah. Oh my gosh, look at this. I'm not ever going to get my story done because I keep finding awesomeness. This is exactly what I was looking for. And I became Wiccan until I was about 30, actually. I practiced Wicca, and not just practiced like little bits. I was full on into it. Book of Shadows and practicing rituals and whole 9 yards of it. And, you know, it was good for me. It taught me a lot. And, you know, I learned a lot about myself. One of the things that appealed to me, though, about Wicca was because it allowed me to live my life however I felt like I wanted to. All right, this is a gross oversimplification here, but one of the basic rule of Wicca is do what you will and harm none. Meaning that you can do whatever you want as long as what you're doing isn't harming somebody. Because modern Wicca, it borrows a lot from Hinduism and the whole idea of karma, amongst other things as well. And the whole religion as a whole borrows from all sorts of different faiths. And that's, I think, what always got me about it. The thing that always just didn't quite register with me is that with Wicca, it's about taking what you want out of life. It's about God as you perceive your higher power is completely malleable and completely dependent upon what you want. what you want to do, who you want to be, and that's it. And I don't know, I just think like the God of the universe, the creator of all things, should be immutable, right? I mean, if something is so powerful to have created the universe, it should not be dependent upon what I want for what it is. I don't know if I'm making any sense with that statement or not, but so yeah, so that it always sort of hit a mark with me of, is this what I really believe? Is this the truth or not? Because I feel like if something is honest truth, it should be, it should leave that mark on your heart, right? You should know. Anyway, so continued on with Wicca until I was 30. And what happened when I was 30 is I actually had 2 Christian friends. Which was weird for me because I never liked Christians. Christians always got on my nerves because every time I met Christians, yay, I'm home. Every time I met Christians, they were always telling me what I should or shouldn't do, who I am, who I shouldn't be, what I shouldn't, wear or talk or whatever, right? So it used to annoy me quite a bit. But these 2 Christians were different. They had their own beliefs, but they didn't push their beliefs on me. And so I let them in. And then one day, they let me into their van. They basically abducted me. They said, look, okay, we respect your beliefs, but we'd like you to come to church one time. If you come to church one time, we will never bug you about it again. And so I said, fine, okay, one time. I'll come to church once. And remember, at the time, I was pretty much the biggest Irish goth you could ever imagine. I had blood red hair down to my butt. And yeah, it was pretty funny to see me back then. I had full handful of pewter rings. Yeah, so that was me in a nutshell. And I went to church with them in a black poet shirt is what I wore to church. And we were living in Calgary at the time, so we went to Center Street Church, which it's a nice church. It's right, it's in the north there, and it's got like 5,000 people. It's not quite a mega church, but it's still really big. And yeah, so we went there. As I'm talking here, I'm just going to set up. Like I got all of these neat new construction things, so I'm going to put them out so that I can start using them. 2 more barrels there. I'm going to set up those 2 furnaces. Set you up there. Set you up there. And set you up there. There we go. So we got even more of our setup done. I'm going to eventually want an anvil and something else down here. Probably another blast furnace and another, yeah. So I go into this church, and first of all, I'm shocked at a deep core level that I didn't immediately burst into flames walking into this church, because I was not expecting to be welcome into God's church at all, right? But I was. Like, nothing stopped me from going in there, and when I got in, I, sorry, just figuring out what exactly I'm going to need here. Once I got into the church, I sat down and we were talking. Oh, it's nighttime. You know what? I'm going to save the garden for later because I really want to tell the story and I'm getting distracted easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the mine here. I'm going to go out a little bit while I finish the story, and then once the story is wrapped up, we'll call it a part there and go on. So, okay. I'm at this church and I'm sitting about midway through the pews, like right near the center. And I didn't know what really to expect. I expected a lot of hymns, stuff like that, but I wasn't expecting anything really interesting to happen. I was seriously mistaken there. The music started up. It was actually really good music. I was surprised. I thought that the music was going to suck because I remembered a lot of the organ music from my Catholic days. But it was contemporary. It was nice, a nice surprise. I could not tell you, for the life of me, what the sermon was about. The pastor came up. He started speaking. I'm not going this way, by the way, because I'm just going to dig into my enchanting room if I go that way. Excuse me. So here I am. I'm sitting there. Pastor starts droning on, and I've got a background in theater. So I immediately started critiquing the pastor as he's speaking. He needs to project more to the left. He's not giving stage right much of attention. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. And because I've been in Shakespeare in the Park, right? I've done a lot of theater work. And as I'm doing this, God met me where I was. See, people are always asking, why doesn't God intervene in this? Why doesn't he, well, if God is real, why doesn't he do this and that? And why doesn't he force people to see him for who he is? Well, God's not about that. God is not about forcing people to do anything. The whole point God has is to give us free will so that we freely love him. Not because of something he did, but because we see him for who he is. And it's the same like Jesus wasn't going to force himself on me. He wanted to know me. He wanted me to know him. But he waited for me to make the first move. And my first move was walking into that church of my own free will. Because as much as I'd like to say it was because they pretty much coerced me with coffee and the promises of never talking to me about God again, there was part of me that was wondering, am I going to see him here? Is this going to be that truth, that real experience that I've been looking for? And it's not something I've really admitted to anybody before, that I was basically there going, hey God, if you're really there, show up. And God did. He did show up. Because what happened after that was pretty staggering to me. I'm sitting there in a pew, except then I wasn't. I was suddenly sitting in a boat on the water. It was the middle of the night, freezing cold. I could feel the pain of the sea spray hitting my face. Right? And that's how I know this wasn't a dream. This wasn't a hallucination or me drifting off into daydreams to placid tones of contemporary Christian music. This was a real thing happening to me. And in that moment, I was terrified. I was terrified. I mean, I didn't know what was going on, for one, and I could feel the coldness. I could feel the sting of the sea spray. If you've ever had sea spray hit you from a cold ocean, then you know what I'm talking about. The Atlantic can be friggin' cold. But it was so dark out, I couldn't tell the difference between the sky and the sea. It was so black. And the boat I was on, it wasn't like a little rowboat. It was an actual small fishing boat. And so I was trying to figure out what to do, and then I realized I could just make out a shoreline in the distance. It was like a strip of black against darker black. And so I started heading in that direction. I've sailed maybe twice in my life. Not like sailboat, but like in a fishing boat. And I tell you, I never was so desperate to remember something in my life. And so here I am, I'm heading over, except every time I turn the boat, every time I start making progress towards the shore, I kept coming across shoals. Shoals are like reefs that are just below the surface of the water. And to hit one of those is really bad because it will rip your boat a new one. And it's not even like a sandbar or something like that where it's just going to be annoying. A shoal will actually rip the hull open. And falling into water of that temperature, you're done. That's it. Stick a fork in them. You know coming back from that. So I was really scared, and I wasn't sure what to do. I'm gonna make myself a sword while I'm at it. I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know how I was going to get out of this. Because that's what I was looking at this point, getting out of it. Ooh, diamond. Ooh. Okay, I didn't actually find this diamond last time. I must have just missed it. Because I changed my angle by just a little bit this time. Nice. So how much was that? 6 diamond. Sweet. See, even after having gone over this a couple times, I'm finding new things. So I'm there, and I don't even know what to do. I'm at the end of my tether. I can't make my way to shore, but I can't stay here. And there's a really old expression. It's something to do with like the survival of threes or something. You can go 3 weeks without food. You can go 3 days without water. You can go 3 minutes without air. But you can only go 3 seconds without hope. And I'm telling you, I was on my knees and I was at the 2 count. I realized I could feel my heart sink to my stomach. I couldn't fight my way out of this. I couldn't charm my way out of it. I couldn't talk my way out of it. I couldn't cheat my way out of it or threaten. I was done. I had no answer for any of this. And I wanted to die in that moment because I didn't know what else to do. And it was at that moment that God came to me. I don't know if the lighthouse was always there or if it just sort of turned on. I keep thinking it over in my head, going over that day in my life, and I really couldn't tell you. What I can tell you is this: then there was a light that shone on me from this lighthouse. And I heard God's voice. And God said to me that it does not matter where you have been. It doesn't matter what you've done in your life. And keep in mind, I was not a very nice person at this time. I did nice things for people, and I still tried to be considerate and stuff like that. But I was a liar. I was a bully. I was a cheat. I was a thief. I had moments of violent outbursts. I was cranky. I was honestly a cranky person. And though I didn't go there looking for forgiveness, he forgave me anyway. He told me that if I turned away from my life and I came to him now, I could, right then and there, be saved. That he would take me home. I tell you, I don't think I've ever cried so much in my life as I did right then. Because I saw God. And it was truth. He was there. He was there for me. He wasn't just some imaginary guy in a book. He's real. And he loves me. He loves you. He loves all of us. And he wants all of us to be happy and to be with him. I came to, I guess, and I'm bawling in the middle of this church. I mean, Niagara Falls going on in my face. And you can imagine this big Irish goth just losing it in this church, and everybody, including my friends, are looking at me like I grew another head, right? They don't know what's going on. To tell you the truth, I didn't know what was going on. All I knew is that I had met God, and that was enough for me. And so that day, when I got home, I burned my Book of Shadows. It's, I guess, like a witch's personal Bible. It's a combination of all of their rituals, spells, things that they've learned and researched. I poured hours into this book, and I burned it, and I got rid of all of my occult paraphernalia because I didn't need it anymore. I had found God. I had found the Creator, and I was getting to know him. And I tell you, I've never looked back. It changed my worldview. I was the cow that went up in the airplane. And I tried to tell my friends about my experience. I tried to tell them about the airplane. I tried to tell them about the curvature of the earth. And I tried to tell them about the fields that I saw beyond ours. And they looked at me like I grew another head too. It didn't work out overly well. But you know what? That's okay. Because you've got to be ready to see God. You've got to be ready to look at him in the eye and learn who he is. Or it's just not going to fly. Right? So just call me Ollie. Well, don't. Really. Seriously, don't. But, yeah. So, with that, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thank you for letting me share that story. That it's a vital part of who I am. And if you ever want to know who I am, that's the start. That's the start of who I am. Everything has gone from that point. So, where's my loaf? Quick bite. Oh, don't need any food? Okay. So, this is Enoch. You've been watching Enoch Dice Minecraft. Thank you all. Have yourselves a wonderful day. And God bless.